Good evening. What's up, family? It's me, KG. Welcome to another edition of Let's Talk Houston Rockets on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. I'm coming to you from Dallas in a hotel room. It's not quite really officially late night with KG, but it's still cheers. So I know what that means. And if you follow me on the Houston Roundball Review community tab, I've already had more than one adult beverage. So we're going to have fun to talk about that garbage we saw this evening by the Rockets in the fourth quarter. That fourth quarter was bad. It really was bad. But what's up to Wise Citizens, Solo D'Lo, and Deborah Grant? Rockets lost to the Blazers. Rockets have now gone to lose two in a row after the promising start to this week of winning two straight. Blazers lost 107-95 in that fourth quarter. Rockets were outscored 28-14. Rockets went 4 for 15 in the fourth quarter. 0 for 4 from three. Rockets at one point were like 1 for 20 from three-point range. That's hard to do when you're trying. Rockets finished the game 3 for 29 from three-point range. One more time. 3 for 29 from three-point range. Not going to be anybody doing that. 3 for 29. Now, kudos to the bench guys who made head coach Chauncey Billups put in the starters for about a minute and a half after the Rockets deep reserves, including Boban, helped take 21, cut off 10 points off that 21-point lead. And Chauncey put back the starters for a brief moment to restore order. But it was just too little too late. Rockets lost the game. They're now 9-20 on the season, 2-2 on this 7-game homestand. So what are your thoughts on what we saw in that awful third quarter? We even saw a little bit of Ty Washington with Daisha Nix in the backcourt. What do you guys think about that? Is that a good thing? Is that a positive? Could that combo work going forward this season? Let me see. Favorite Rocket. What did Mr. Eric Gordon do this evening for the Rockets? Eric Gordon, 20 minutes, 5 points, 2 for 6 from the floor, including 1 for 3 from three-point range, 1 rebound, 1 turnover, 0 assists, 0 steals, 0 fouls. So Eric Gordon is still starting, but he's playing less minutes. He played 20 minutes tonight. It's about right for me. I think Eric Gordon, as long as he's a Rocket, to play 20 minutes. That's it. No more than that. He seemed disinterested tonight, and it kind of showed, but he was just one of the reasons the Rockets lost in this ball game. I hope Brandon shows up in this game. And I do still have the co-signers of the Rockets 2-5 on this 7-game homestand. Swaggy D, Mike Will, Baba Shola, Deverick. Derek, how you feel on that 2-5? You still with that 2-5? That 2-2 right now. How do you feel? Still feel confident in the 2-5 prediction you made last Saturday on Let's Talk Houston Rockets? Hit me up. Let me know. And I'm going to keep doing this. Cheers. Don't be shy. I forgot to bring my Rockets media cup from the house when I got in the car. I made this trip up to Dallas. I thought about it. It's a little too late, so I wasn't going to go back and get it. But Solo, what do you think about it? I think Ty is Rockets' only true point guard. Daisha Nix he has a passing mentality, but I think Ty was born a point guard. Daisha Nix is just, he gives you his effort and does what he can, but he has his moments. He made a three. Let's talk about this. Derek's not sure about what his prediction of 2-5 last week. They're 2-2. Got the Spurs on Monday. Kind of a revenge meeting on Monday. But this comment from Alan Luna kind of is indicative of where the Rockets are, this young Rocket team. It baffles me how the Rockets look great in some games and appear as they are growing as a team. Then next game, it looks like they forgot everything. Yeah. I think that's part of being inexperienced. But Coach Luke was that one game he coached on Sunday in the win over the Bucks. Luke said that got to come to a point where the Rockets stop using their youth as an excuse and have to learn to win, learn to be professional, and learn to hold everybody accountable. And I think that's an issue that the Rockets are struggling with right now is the consistency in performance versus all opponents, not just some opponents, not just the elite teams or the teams you perceive to be elite. You get up for them, play better defensively, focus better than the non-elite teams. So that's part of the development. Oh, definitely the Spurs are not elite, but they laid the wood to the Rockets not too long ago. So we'll see how the mindset the Rockets have come Monday against the Spurs in Game 5 of this 7-game homestand. So Ty, Solo. I think you guys said it before. We've said it before. It's not a surprise. Ty is probably the Rockets' only true point guard, and he's healthy now, so that's a plus. You're seeing what he can do in the minutes he's gotten. Let's see what he did tonight. Ty, 15 minutes, 3 for 6 from the floor, 6 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 fouls, 0 turnovers. One of those bad turnover games for Kevin Porter Jr. that he's had a few times this season. Not as often as previous years, but he had 6 of the team's 15 turnovers. 6 turnovers, just 3 for 10 from the floor, 0 for 6 from 3. Jalen Green also 0 for 6 from 3, and he went 5 for 16 from the floor overall. Both of them did have 4 assists. Jalen Green had 5 rebounds. Scoot had 7 rebounds, but 4 assists and 6 turnovers by Scoot is not a good ratio at all for your starting point guard. Period. Y'all know that. I know that. The Rockets know that. So, yep, back-to-back games for Ty with 0 turnovers. The floater is good for him. It's productive. It's kind of simple to say, but he really is, I think, born a point guard. He just has that mentality of a point guard and pass first and how to control the offense, keep a dribble alive more times than not, and not make poor decisions when he has the ball in his hands. And that's commendable for a rookie point guard, especially. So Jalen's struggling from 3-point line. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Let me see what he's done the last few games from 3, because it has not been very good, as we all know. Let's see, Jalen Green. But tonight, the Rockets as a whole, as a team, 3 for 29 from 3. I think some of us can make 3 NBA 3-pointers. I'm not sure I can anymore. I think my days from 3-point range are over. But Solo probably can knock down a couple threes. Derek probably can knock down a couple threes. So, I'm going to give y'all some credit on that. I'll play the defense, be the good point guard, and get y'all open with the good assists, and y'all knock it down from 3. We can do that. Let's see. Jalen Green. Last few games, Jalen Green. 0 for 6, 1 for 6, 1 for 7, 3 for 6, 2 for 3, 0 for 7, 0 for 5, 2 for 7. Ooh. That's 8 games, 9 makes, 47 attempts. 9 out of 47. That's less than 20% from 3. That's awful. Awful. That's struggling, though. That's a slump. That is the epitome of a slump. He's not a bad shooter. I think his release has changed. He's subtle, but he's not shooting the ball the same. I think he's like catching it differently, holding it differently. So I think he's got to go back and look at the film and check out his shots, rotation on his shot, where he's catching it, his release point, all those things as well. So the perimeter defense, why I said this, I'm going to put it up. Y'all know how I feel about perimeter defense. And I think this is back to focus. You've seen it. We've seen it, how well Jalen and Scoot do against certain backcourt matchups. They seem to get hyped up and more focused against certain teams more than others. This is the NBA. You can't do that. You can't have Anthony Simons go for 32 on 11 for 21 from the floor. Dame got his 25. Dame didn't shoot the ball well. 7 for 20 from the floor. He had 10 assists. And the Rockets, you cannot have miscommunication on those high screen rolls. The high picks, drop coverages. You got to be on the same page of what defense you're in when you're defending Simons and Lillard and backcourts like that. So you got to be more consistent on that. Good point right here, Solo. Last year was the bigs. This year it's the guards. So that is an issue. 101, perimeter defense, problem. Tonight against Portland, it's a problem against the Spurs. It just seems to be a problem against certain matchups. Rockets got to do better. And it starts. Good defense starts out top, starts at the perimeter. Because if you get broken down out top, then the back line has to make up for everything. And they converge and collapse. And then the penetration into the paint opens up, driving kicks opens up shooters in the corners. Your defense gets beat off at the perimeter, your defense overall is going to fail. It's going to struggle. And that's what the Rockets have done a little bit too much lately. So that's a problem that needs to be fixed. So once again, it's technically not quite KG after dark, but I'm going to enjoy it anyway. So cheers one more time. I hope Terry from New Zealand chiming in at some point with some rum. Bring in Pat Bev or D Rose to help out. But why citizens? Why would you do that? That would take minutes away from Ty, wouldn't it? Tell me what you think about that. Don't you want to get more minutes for Ty Washington, not less? I mean, Eric Gordon, I think, for the most part, is getting minutes we want. That's less. He's no longer getting the 30 minutes a game. He's getting 20. And that's a start to his exit coming, I don't say soon, but at some point between now and the trade deadline of February. That's a start. Let me see. Jabari Smith, 3 for 11. Rockets starting 5. Nobody shot 50% or better. Eric Gordon, 2 for 6. Jabari, 3 for 11. Al P, 4 for 11. Jalen Green, 5 for 16. KPJ, 3 for 10. That's not good. That's not good enough. KJ Martin, 6 for 9. Oos, 1 for 2. Ty, 3 for 6. Tari Eason, not shy from, my man, Tari Eason, he put him up. 14 attempts in only 23 minutes. And it looked like Bruno 1 for 2, Dacian 2 for 3. It looked like a few times in those last 2 minutes. Boban looked at Tari a couple of times. Pass the ball, man. Pass me the ball. Tari just jacked him up and missed. So nothing major, I don't believe, between the two of them, but Tari, man, it's okay to pass the ball sometimes, even in blowouts. You know, give your other teammates a chance to get some buckets too. But yeah, okay, let me see. Wise, he wants more minutes. He just doesn't think KPJ is the point guard. Let me do this. I agree with this comment from Wise Citizens. At times, Jalen has been looking like a better distributor than Scoot. At times, yes. But we've had this discussion many times on Let's Talk Houston Rockets. That many of y'all do not believe Scoot is the long-term answer. The short-term answer at point guard for the Rockets. But why, citizens, in your honest assessment, do you believe KPJ has been better at point guard this season than overall? More good than bad? What do you think about there? Has he improved running the offense this season than he did last season? I'm asked that. I mean, has he been so bad on a consistent basis to warrant moving away from him at the one this season? So coming from WK, I think is legit. The guards are having trouble with certain matchups, but the overall defensive effort from the team the last few games has been better. The Spurs, not part of that. That defense against Spurs was embarrassing. It was embarrassing as a pro. They didn't take the Spurs for granted. It took not take the Spurs seriously. Took the Spurs for granted, and the Spurs said thank you very much, and capitalized, got the dub, and snapped the losing streak. But going forward, tonight was an issue. We'll see what they do against Spurs on Monday, because we know what can be done if the Rockets don't take the Spurs seriously. Got the proof of that already. So we'll see if the Rockets learn from it and do a better job on Monday. We'll see if Trey does his thing again, lights him up. Keldon Johnson lights the Rockets up again. We shall see. But in terms of matchups, WK, why do you think that's an issue for Rockets in certain matchups? Is that a lack of focus? Is that focusing on playing better defense against better opponents? Because if that's the case, then they need to correct that. This is the NBA. Every team you play in the NBA is a professional. You treat them as such and play defense as such. Got to do a better job. Cheers. And please, don't be shy. Be shy. Got a drink? Get a drink. Luna, I certainly hope not. I hope Eric Gordon's days as a Rocket end before February deadline. I think it's best for him and the Rockets going forward to move on, to let him give a chance to win the playoffs. I think that needs to be done. Ideally, a first-round pick. The Rockets keeping hope alive on that. But just get something for him. 2 second-round picks, multiple second-round picks, whatever. Move on. Move on. Eric Gordon's done his time here. Move on. I think it's time for that. Move on from Eric Gordon. Thank you for your time here, Mr. Gordon. We're going to send you somewhere else to give you a chance in the playoffs. Jabari with way more touches. Wild Citizen, let me put it up there for everybody. I'm getting tired of seeing him in the paint, posted up on a small point guard, and they ignore the mismatch. Agreed. That's vision. That is an issue that needs to be. You got a mouse in the house. Get to dig the ball. You don't need play calls designed for that. You got a mouse in the house, and for those who have not heard that terminology, get a big on a small in the post. Get the ball in the post to the big. Let the big go to work in the post on the smaller defender. That's simple observing of the mismatch. Period. Not a question from the sideline. Not a question from the coaching staff. Get the ball to the big in the post against a small defender. Period. That's recognition. That's little things that Ty Washington and point guards take care of. So we'll see. That's the thing that needs to be corrected. The offense should run through LP definitely more than it does. I agree with that. How much though, Solo? I mean, I don't know how much you could put a percentage on it, but give me your percentage breakdown of it. When LP's on the floor, let's see what LP did minute-wise, what he got tonight. LP only played 21 minutes. So let's say out of LP's minutes, so just break it down. Based on LP's minutes, how much of the offense, when he's on the floor, do you think the offense should run through him? So, like tonight, 21 minutes, he's on the floor. Out of those 21 minutes, how much did the offense run through him? 18 minutes? 15? Half? 80%? Give me a percentage breakdown of the offense running through LP based on his minutes of game action. Just kind of curious, put it out there. Brandon Ramos, that's a new name I haven't seen. Welcome, Brandon, to the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. Appreciate you joining in. And if you got a adult beverage, if you're old enough to drink, that is, so let me be clear on that. I'm well past the legal drinking age. But Brandon, if you're old enough to drink, cheers! All right, people. Let me see here. My nose runs with the beer and cold and stuff here in Dallas. 75%. Fair with that. 75%. I think that's good. Do you think that would give more touches for Jabari if Alp's running the offense? Any updates? I think Jaysean is 1 to 3 weeks away from getting back on the court in games. He's practicing with the team. He's doing some more work in practice. He's getting closer. He's ramped up his activity. I think once he gets his conditioning up, so another 1 to 3 weeks, he'll be cleared to go, because they do not want to have this injury continue and aggravate it with the ligaments and have this last throughout the season. So I doubt a week. I doubt the full 3 weeks. So let's go with a 2-week window, and the Jaysean will be back on the court. And I think once Jaysean is cleared and good to go, that will, in my opinion, that should, let me be clear, that should speed up the trade offers and trade rumors and trade discussions for Eric Gordon. Because you get KJ Martin those minutes starting, then Jaysean can fill up, take the minutes off the bench, and you don't need Eric Gordon on this team with Jaysean, Jabari, KJ Martin, Alp, Buno, and Usa up front. You don't need him. And then you can have Ty, Jalen, and Scoot in the backcourt. And if you want to give Daisha Nix some more minutes, okay, sometimes, or Garrett Matthews, fine. But once Jaysean is cleared and resumes action, trade Eric Gordon. Please, trade Eric Gordon. Well, I'll put this up and I'll post a comment from Wise Citizens. Before Markelle Fultz returned to the lineup, and Cole Anthony has been in and out of the lineup too, Orlando didn't have really any good guards to run the offense. I mean, there were some times when Paolo brought the ball up the floor. So he initiated the offense at times. So that helped him get more touches and have a higher usage rate. So that's part of it as well. I get your point overall that Jabari should get more touches, but Paolo doesn't have Jalen Green and KPJ type talent in his backcourt, and hasn't had that type talent for most of this early part of the season. So I think that's part of it as well. Let's see. I don't go this far about treating Jabari like Trevor Ariza, but I mean, let's see. You know, he got 11 shot attempts. He was 0 for 4 for 3, so he had more attempts from 2 than 3. So that's not quite a Trevor Ariza type game. So the perfect game to show Fellstone where we are and what is needed to compete. We believe the hype too early. 9-20. I'll ask you, Bob Shola, thank you for chiming in. You're one of those 2-5 on a 7-game homestand. Like I said, are 2-2 so far. Are you sticking with 2-5? So you think they're going to start out 2-0 and then lose the last 5 of the 7-game homestand? Or are you going to change your prediction from 2-5 you made last week, or agreed or co-signed last week on the show? And I got the receipts. I put the names down. So Mike Will chimes in. Mike, I got you on here too. Swaggy D, where you at? Got you on here too. You guys co-sign on the 2-5 from Brandon. So right now, 2-2, where the Rockets are. And then you got three more games left on this homestand. And Monday, so you're going 3-4. Okay. So Monday against the Spurs, Wednesday against Orlando, and then Friday against Dallas. So will I be 3-4? No way it's going to be 5-2. I don't believe that at all. 3-4, 4-3, or 2-5. 2-5 would be a big disappointment if they start at 2-0 and they end up 2-5. That'd be big. That'd be bad. That means they had lost 5 in a row at home. So you go from winning 5 straight at home to losing 5 in a row at home. That'd be disappointing. So, all right. So yeah, please, if anybody who's friends with Brandon, ask him to chime in, and Mike will as well. Comment on the show. But what positive? Are there any positive take from this game, from tonight's game? I'm hard pressed to kind of think of any Tata's performance. Kind of, maybe beat the Spurs in Orlando, lose to Luka. So that'd be 4-3. That'd be a solid homestand, right? To go 4-3. I think that'd be acceptable to go 4-3. Send Eric to Rockets North for a first round or second round pick. I'm fine with that. I mean, y'all know, y'all followed this show long enough where I stand on Eric Gordon. Eric Gordon no longer fits on this team. And I believe his presence on this team, the minutes he's getting, even though it's now down to 20 minutes, should be going to somebody else. I think he is stunting the growth of the rest of the Rockets. So, good point here. Jabari sometimes is taking it upon himself to get his shots. I don't disagree with that. So, he's taking it upon himself. Sometimes you have to do that. But definitely, when he's in the post against a shorter defender, the Rockets need to get him the ball when he's down there on the block against a shorter defender. Period. So, and I agree with this, and I've said this for a while. The Rockets do need to get one more high draft pick, get that in this 23 draft to add to the talent level, and then go from there. Be ready to compete. And I will have higher expectations for next year's team than this year's team than I did for this year's team. My main thing for this year's team was just win more than 20 games previous year, and then maybe max out at 29 wins. So I did not have this team making the play-in or anything like that, or even close to the play-in, honestly. So, Benny Mac, I agree with this. I think most folks agree with this. Ty could be the Rockets' point guard. He's just a natural point guard. I think we see that. That's his role. This is a good question for everybody. Do the Rockets need a really tall center? And Baba Shola, I'm going to ask you, do you have someone in mind? Because some teams with talented bigs are doing well, but there's still not a lot of talented big men, big centers in the NBA. So I think the league's kind of moving back toward that. Outside of Joker and Embiid, Nurkic is getting his. Sabonis is a skilled big man. That's only 4 dudes. And there are probably others that I can't think of off the top of my head. But then you got guys, Giannis 7 feet, Bobo 7 feet. They're doing it differently, different skill set. So, do you think do Rockets need another tall, skilled big? How about that? Another tall, skilled big. So, Rockets are being competitive, except for that third quarter tonight, because that third quarter is bad. And most of the shots the Rockets got from 3 were good looks. They just missed. 3 for 29 from 3. And Jalen Green's last 8 games going 9 for 47 from 3. Quick math I did, top of my head. 947. That's a slump. No one expects Jalen Green to be in a slump from 3 like that many times throughout an NBA season, but he's in one right now. And I do think and I'm sure he's looking at his shot and his form on film and video. I just think it's not the same. I think the shot has changed a little bit. The release points changed a little bit. I think he needs to just get back and work on it in practice with Luke and get back and study and get back to how he was shooting the ball from three earlier in the season. Guys that are good enough for now, play decent D, hit the boards at center, scored 10 to 15. Okay, WK. So with that, do you not want LP at center? Do you believe LP is better at the 4 and then get somebody else a skilled big at the 5? Are you saying that? That kind of changes the makeup of the team. Because, that's not really Bruno. Bruno's more of a lob threat. He's not a low post go-to guy in the block kind of dude. Have a look into the drops. The prospects in the next draft, not past, honestly, not yet. Not past Wemby, Scoot, get a little bit more of Osser. I haven't seen much of the guys in G League or Overtime Elite yet. I'm watching more of the guys in college. I saw what Brandon did with Bama today against the Zags, put up 36. I saw Jarris Walker, obviously, for the Cougs in the road win over Virginia, have his best game to date in his freshman year at Houston. He looked like how should I phrase this? Jarris Walker looked like an NBA prospect today against Virginia for the first time since maybe his game against St. Joseph, but better opponent. Jarris Walker looked like, the hype coming into the season. He matched the hype, but it's just one game. He's got to do it again and again and again. Jalen's in a slump. Simple. He's in a slump. And I think, he'll get out of the slump. He just may have to change a few things in his shot, release, form, release point, something. But he's in a slump right now. That's all it is. Which players do you guys think will not be here? Oh, this is a great question. I posed this question in previous shows. It's been a while since I posed this question. But in a nutshell, how many of these current Rockets, how many of these players on this year's roster will be with the Rockets in 2-3 years, and Rockets are competing for a playoff spot, competing for the top 6 seed? How many of this year's Rockets do you guys believe will be on a playoff Rockets? Give me a number and then give me the names to go along with it, with that number. I'm good at that point. Yeah. I mean, LP at some point, let me see what he did. LP had 3 block shots. And at times, it seems like LP is more competitive, not competitive, more explosive when he's blocking shots than he is on offense. Like he really gets, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, some of his block shots, weak side help, he's slapping the ball off the backboard, like he's more, like he jumps higher to block a shot. And that's more explosive, get off the floor than he is on the block, going for boards, So let's see. LP, Jalen, Jabari, Tari, Oos, and Ty. So those 6 Rockets from this year's roster on the playoff roster, when Rockets are competing for a playoff spot. Are y'all good with that? Do y'all agree with those 6? Is it 6? Is it more than 6? Is it less than 6 of the current Rockets will be on the Rockets playoff roster in 2-3 years? What do I think about that? Hit me up on that. I noticed you didn't say Josh Christopher solo. So notice you didn't say KJ Martin either. So WK says Jalen, Jabari, Scoot, LP, Tari. So you got just 5. Ataluna has 5. Jalen Green, Scoot, Jabari, Tari, Ty. Baba Shola says the players that'll be here are Jalen, Jabari, Tari, Scoot, and now Pete. 5. So it's either 5 or 6. I think you get where I've said for a while, Rockets have to improve the talent level and the quantity of talent. And this year's team isn't there yet. This year's team is building something. And it's got to keep building and keep adding talent. And they got to hit a home run with the 23 draft. Do that to add more talent. And then with the salary cap room that we agree that they will add talent next summer via trade, most likely, then outright free agent signing. And that will help this team going forward. And I think speed up the process a bit to compete for postseason within 2 years. And in 3 years, a top 6 seed in the West. I think that's about right. Because injuries can always happen. 4 or 5 years, my timeline, Rockets get into the finals. I'm going to stick with that. I haven't seen anything so far to change my thought process on that yet. But that also includes hitting home run with this draft pick in 2023. But once again, Rockets lose to the Blazers this evening, 107-95, with a dreadful, pitiful, brutal third quarter performance. The Blazers in the third quarter were 5 for 10 from 3, 11 for 23 overall in the third quarter. They only scored 28 points, which is not like some offensive explosion, but compared to the Rockets' 14, it was. The Rockets were 4 for 15 from the floor, 0 for 4 from 3, 6 for 10 from the foul line. I forgot about the Rockets' struggles from the foul line, too. Rockets in the game, just 20. They missed 9 free throws out of 29 attempts. So they went to the line 10 more times than the Blazers. Portland missed 5 free throws. Rockets missed 9. So Rockets missed the struggle from 2-point range, 3-point range, and free throw line. Add it up, you get a 107-95 loss to fall to 9-20. Portland improves to 17-13 on the season. Rockets trail by as much as 22 points in the game. Rockets scored 95 points. 64 of them were in the paint. 64. They outscored Portland 29-13 second chance points, which is good, but it's also indicative of how many shots the Rockets missed. So, but yes, this is a point Warriors have developed from within. Most of their talent on the championship teams was, except for the KD, coming in, was guys they were in the organization, guys they drafted, guys they developed. So that could be a good example for the Rockets. Develop from within. You can do that at some point. Out of the 5, let's go back solo. Out of year 6, WK out of year 5, Allen and Babashola out of year 5. How many out of that will be paid as a max player? 1, 2, Jalen Jabari. 2 max players, max salary players. That's it? Or just Jalen? Or just Jabari? What do I think about that going forward? So think about that. Cheers one more time. So just putting it out there for you for the conversation here on Let's Talk Houston Rockets as I talking with you too. Which 2? Jalen and Jabari solo? I think that's the 2 that everybody would agree on. Would be those 2. Assuming Jabari gets more touches and the right touches, I think that make the most sense. Jalen and Jabari, yep. And once again, if you notice, my backdrop's different. I'm not at my usual place. I'm in a hotel in Dallas for some college basketball tomorrow. a college quadruple header starting at high noon. I'm not even sure the game. I think the games are on Pac-12 network. I don't even know. But Texas and Baylor men's and women's teams are involved in the quadruple header, facing teams from the Pac-12, USC, Arizona women, and then men, Stanford men, and Washington State. Washington State closes out against Baylor at, I think, 9 p.m. tip-off tomorrow night. So first game's at noon, and then last game starts at 9. So it could be 12 hours of hoops here in Dallas Sunday at American Airlines Center. So Solo, okay. All right. Jalen and Jabari is max players. All right. Yeah, Rockets get to the line. And I think the free throw attempts is pretty good. They just did not make them tonight. They missed 9 free throws, going 20 or 29. So, I mean, tonight, okay, I'll put this out there for you guys. Was tonight offensively just an aberration in terms of they didn't shoot well anywhere. They struggled from 2. They struggled from 3. They struggled from the line. They've been struggling from 3 for a while now as a team. Even the defense, though the defense has been solid for most of probably these last 12 games. The Rockets were 6-4 in the last 10 before this loss to Miami and tonight's loss to Portland. And for the most part of those 12 games, the defense has been pretty good. Take out that Spurs debacle. But the 3-point shooting as a team hasn't been. So it's just one of those, it's a team-wide slump from 3, just an aberration, or is this what the Rockets are going to be doing for the rest of the year, struggling from 3-point range? Because if they struggle from 3, they're going to struggle to win. 9-20, 29 games. You got 53 more games to go. Brandon, Mr. 33, wins. Hasn't chimed in tonight, but Rockets are not getting 33 wins. They're not doing that. So for them to do that, let's see, what would that be? 53 games left. They have to go 24 and 29. Not happening. Not going to happen. So, yep, third quarter tonight was bad. Just bad. And I think that really summed it up. Final shot of the third quarter, KJ Martin dribbled and ran into Tari Eason before attempting this shot. It just it's just bad. Look at this. Summarize the whole third quarter. Your teammates running into each other. Friendly fire before getting off a shot attempt. Alan believes the Rockets will struggle from 3, especially if they trade Eric Gordon, because the Rockets and Garrett Matthews is not exactly lighting the world on fire from 3 this season. So get right. If Jalen Green continues to be inconsistent from 3, then I think the Rockets will struggle from 3 as this season progresses. This is key, is to continue to take steps forward. For the most part, the crappy defensive performance against the Spurs was the biggest step back for the team out of these most recent 12 games. I mean, that Spurs defense was just awful. It was just bad. It was insulting. It was bad. So, street ball out there. Interesting take from Jalen. Try to get comments. From NBA later on when they post it, assuming they post some of the comments, because I'm going to say this to you guys. You guys are family here on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel on the Let's Talk Houston Rockets show. Little insight for you. The Rockets don't always post game media comments like other teams do. depending where it is, just putting it out there. Locker room comments are mostly us, media, locker room. If it's not in the media room, then you guys won't see it. So not a lot of NBA teams handle it that way. More NBA teams put every post-game session in the media room and make it available for their fans on their team websites. Just putting it out there. Might get my hand slapped for saying that, but just putting it out there, okay? But yes, Baba Shola, correct. Terry, WCAM coming to you right there. Terry, hope you're doing well, man. Cheers to you. New Zealand. Need to give myself a top of, but I got to do it off camera because I'm not getting sponsored by this adult beverage provider. So right there. But like I said, WK, I do what I can. But when I'm not there, if the Rockets players talk to us in the locker room, more times than not, the fans won't see it because those comments won't be on the Rockets website. Personally, I think it'd be better for all the comments to be in the media room. Bring the players and coaches into the media room and just keep it moving. Majority of NBA teams do that. They have all the players talk to the media in the media room. Just a little heads up there. So, but man, Terry, are you drinking rum? Just curious. Are you drinking some of that good New Zealand rum? And side note, I'm glad to see that my alma mater has embraced the YouTube channel. Their YouTube channel for the Cougars last 2 weeks. Finally, after being criticized for a long time doing it. So Terry drinking rum. All right. So like I said, WK. So if you're an adult, get to enjoy your Saturday night, or in Terry's case, Sunday afternoon in New Zealand. But once again, this is kind of a late night edition of Let's Talk Houston Rockets here on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. We're recapping the Rockets' 107-95 loss to the Portland Trail Blazers. Rockets are now 2-2 on this current 7-game homestand. Rockets shot a frigid 3 for 29 from three-point range. Kevin Porter Jr. had 6 of the team's 15 turnovers. He did not have one of his better games. He and Jalen Green combined to shoot 8 for 26 from the floor. Combined 0 for 12 from 3. The Rockets starting 5 made 1 3-pointer out of 20 attempts. Eric Gordon, 1 for 3. Jabari Smith, 0 for 4. Al P, 0 for 1. Jalen Green, 0 for 6. Scoot, 0 for 6. Starting 5, 1 for 20 from 3. Rockets lost 107-95 to the Portland Trail Blazers. Yep. Jackson does post-game from locker room, but another secret, so far, Jackson is not yet getting a season credential. So he gets locker room access when he's there. He's just not there for all 41 games yet. I think that time will come, just not there yet. So, but yeah, I remember this too. It wasn't that long ago. Rockets winning too many games. Now we're not going to get to Wemby. We're not going to get Victor. Calm down, folks. It's a long season. It'll all even out. Because let me see. Let me put it up here. Just curious. Let's see the record of the Orlando Magic, now 10-20. They won 5 in a row. Detroit 8-23. And Cade Cunningham has had his season-ending surgery, which was to be expected like a month ago. Charlotte is 7-22, lost 7 in a row. Rockets and Spurs. Oh, Rockets and Spurs are both 9-20. So Monday's matchup is going to be a big one. Be a big one for those two teams. The loser will take a step forward in the Wemby sweepstakes. So from that perspective, what do you think's going to happen in Monday's game? Who do you want to win? Since the Rockets and Spurs are both 9-20, who do you want to win in that one? I think this is going to happen soon. I think we're going to see Ty get more time with the starters soon. I think he's a point guard. He's a point guard. I think he's a natural point guard. He's got that point guard mentality. I think it's a better fit for the team going forward. And I think it's really time to hand him the reins, see what he can do long term. Build him up to 25 minutes a game, run the offense. I think that time should come. He can play 15 tonight, slowly move him up to 18, 20, 22, 25. WK has the Spurs winning on Monday. Anthony Simons with 32 tonight. And he was 5 for 14 from 3. Check this out. This is how the NBA's changed. Blazers took 36 threes. Anthony Simons and Dame combined to shoot 27 of the team's 36 threes. They made 10. It went 10 for 27 from 3. 10. They made 10. Attempted 27. Jalen and Scoot attempted 12 and made 0. So Anthony Simons made 5 threes. Dame made 5 threes. Jalen Green made 0 threes. And Scoot made 0 threes. So there you go. Atlanta has the Rockets winning on Monday. This is an interesting point here. The latter part, especially from Terry's comment. The Rockets take turns say everything looks hard in the Rockets offense. Scoot had 6 turnovers. Ty for 2 games in a row, second game in a row, 0 turnovers. It looks harder than it probably needs to be. I think they settle for threes sometimes too much. I think, let me see. They each took 9 free throws, but Jalen missed 4 of them. Scoot missed 2 of them. So, they struggle everywhere. They struggle from you starting backcourt, they led the way for the team. They struggled from 2, 3, and foul line. So, and the team did as well. Staggering minutes, I think, would help. I think you'd see both of them do better, probably be more efficient with Ty running the offense with both of them separately. I think that would help them. I think we'll see more of that. I think we should see more of that going forward with, my goal, hope, desire of Ty getting more run, leading the offense, more time with the starters, but more time specifically, definitely running the offense with the ball in his hand. And then you could have Jalen off ball and Scoot off ball when minutes are staggered and they both get time and run with Ty. I think that'd be beneficial to both of them. So, yep, I'm kind of curious. Terry liked it, the time and Daishen Nix and Ty were on the court together. It was productive, good mix, 2 good ball handlers, one better than the other, Ty. But Daishen did not make me shake my head at him, like I have the last few games. And he was 2 for 3. He only took 3 shots. He made 1 or 2 from 3. He had 2 assists. So Ty had 2 assists as well. Daishen had 1 turnover. Ty had 0. But Daishen played 16 minutes and Ty played 15 minutes. So I don't know if that was an experiment with both of them together that we'll see more of going forward. But it wasn't bad tonight against Portland. So, if that tandem if that tandem is an indicator of Eric Gordon getting less minutes, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. So, Dacian doesn't have a floater like Ty. He does not have a floater. I think Dacian, he's not nowhere nearly as consistent from three as he needs to be. But his 3-point shot, I think he has more range than Ty does, but definitely Ty is much better finisher in the paint than Dacian. So, but pairing them together, if that means, like I said again, less minutes for Eric Gordon, I'm here for that. So, once again, Eric Gordon, Rockets need to trade him before February and move on. So, consistency is the issue for the whole team, but definitely from your starting backcourt. Mike, thank you for timing in, man. I know you've been busy in all those things. You got a life as well. I ask you, Mike, because I've asked all the co-signers from last Saturday's show. Are you still sticking with the 2-5 prediction you made you co-signed last Saturday on the 7-game homestand? Rockets are currently 2-2. So, and Mike, I'm not sure where you coming in or still going out. Join me and Terry. Cheers. I didn't see any coaching issues. Of course, Bob Scholl, I'm in Dallas, so I'm not at the game. So I was there in the locker room and anything of that sort, and haven't talked to any of my buddies who were there covering the game to find out. So not that I know of. So, okay, Mike, you stick with 2-5. That means the Rockets are going to go from 2-0 on a homestand start and lose the last 5. Mike, really, Mike? You got the Rockets losing Monday to the Spurs at home? All right, Mike. All right. You being consistent. Okay. I respect that. All right. Well, that would be a bad look, though, to start out 2-0 on the homestand and then lose the last 5. Wow. that would be bad look and disappointing. But Rockets versus Spurs on Monday, home against the Magic on Wednesday, and then close it out against Luka and the Mavs on Friday. So one more time, no problem being late, Mike. I started tonight's post-game show really soon after the game was over because I'm not there. So, I'm out of town on the road. So I want to get the post-game show started earlier than usual and then hopefully get some videos sent to me later on about the league. And if so, then I'll work on that later, probably, because I'm not sure when the Rockets are going to post the post-game comments because you might be late. But not 2-5 I expected. But I'll give them one more. First Magic for 3-4. Okay, WK, I respect that. Mike said they're going to play down to the competition, so it'll still be 2-5. Okay, all right. Well, you could be right on that. I mean, Rockets go 3 for 29 from 3 again in these last 3 home games. Yeah, they're going to lose. So that is definitely a possibility. This is an issue. The zone defenses, Rockets are struggling against zone teams. Mix it up, do a good job of not tossing the zone out there often, but when they do, it gives Rockets fits. They don't know how to attack it. They don't know how to collapse the zone, kick it out, penetrate. You can still penetrate on zones and make the defense collapse around you and pass it out to open teammates. You don't have to settle for 3-point shots against zone defense. Teams want you to take 3-point shots and settle for 3-pointers against zone. You don't have to do that against zone defense. That's coaching. I'll put that out there for sure. That's definitely coaching. All right, family. It's been great to talk to you as always. Let me see real quick. If I can see what time the Longhorns gotta be. I'm assuming some of these games, tomorrow's games, are going to be on ESPN, I think. Let me see here. But yep, I'm in Dallas for some college basketball because I'm showing my face to the conferences, the Big 12 and the Pac 12, part of the Houston Roundball Review being a national publication, nationally known, as well as a global perspective. And sometimes you got to make these trips to let folks know who you are and let folks know that you put in the work and get those credentials from other conferences than the team that I cover here at H-Town. And another little secret that's putting out there, I've already applied for credentials to the men's Final Four. Did that this evening. Regardless of whether the Cougs are there or not, I will be at the men's Final Four. Just putting it out there also. So I said he would have benched the whole starting five and played the end of my bench the rest of the way. Well, at what point would you have done that, Mike? And one more time, if you missed it, overall, family. Rocket starters went 1 for 20 from three-point range. 1 for 20 from three-point range. That's hard to do. Solo, can you shoot threes? Can you hit an NBA three? How about you, Alan? Mike, can you shoot from three? You might have to, at some point, boy, that'd be nice, at some point in the summertime, put together like a, I don't know, 3-on-3 or some kind of competition. See who got hooping skills. I can still pass. I cannot do much else, but I can get you, if you get open, I'll get you the rock. Knock it down and get the assist. So if you get open, I'll get you the rock. We can play pick and roll all day, and I'll get it done. We get some dubs in pick and roll. I trust on that. But yep, showing my face here to a Big 12 and Pac 12. Well, obviously another reason. Next year the Cougs will be in the Big 12, but I've already had established a relationship with the Big 12. Wow, going back 15 years. So went away from a little bit and came back the last 2 years for media days, and it's like old home week. Like, Kris, where you been? Good to see you again. So that was a comfort, and I'm glad to hear that from the higher ups in the conference. So definitely appreciate that as always from the conferences. Big 12, Pac-12, SEC get some love too. With UConn back in the Big East, get love there from them too, from the time with the Houston in the American. So, Alan, me and you, man, my skills are pretty much gone. I can pass. That's about all I can do is pass. I can't do much else. Maybe I'm not even sure about my defense anymore. I don't even. I'm not even sure about that. I can still pass. That I'm sure of. So if Mike, you can get open, I'll get you the rock. You just knock it down. But other than that, I don't know what else I can do on the court without getting myself injured and my old bones cracking and popping as I move. So the summertime, let's see if we can. Let's see if we can do that. Ice and being gay. That sounds like me too, Mike. Because heating pad and all kinds of stuff for me. Yeah, my knees from too many jump stops. My knees are just like, what? You want to do what? Are you serious? No. So, all right, let me see here. Schedule. We got Christmas Eve next Saturday. Rockets got a game Friday at home against the Mavs. So it's Christmas Eve next Saturday, but I'm going to try to do an earlier show. So let's talk Houston Rockets a little earlier because of the holiday. Christmas Eve next Saturday. It's going to be cold, supposedly here in H-Town. But yes, let's try to shoot for another edition of Let's Talk Houston Rockets next Saturday on Christmas Eve on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. So, as always, I might need some of that special stuff from Space Jam to keep me going. So, but as always, thank you very much to Terry, Allen, Mike, Will, Devrick, Solo, WK. I think I saw Baba Shola, of course, Gohan. Was it Brandon? I saw a name earlier, a new name. Welcome to the program, Brandon. Don't be a stranger. Come back again. But thank you, as always, to everybody watching the show and your comments. Johnny Johnson. That's a good question. Will there be a Seawood tribute next week? That's a good question. Probably not. Probably not. But I hope not. No, let me say it like that. I hope not. But Alan, thank you very much for the comments. I was kind of concerned about the Wi-Fi here in the hotel because it was problematic earlier today. But it was good. It didn't shut down like it had many times earlier while I was on to work doing the Cougs game. But thanks very much as always, everybody, for your comments. See you next Saturday. Until then, cheers and peace.